Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Thinner, released in the year 1996. The movie opens up with an obese and arrogant upper-class lawyer, Billy Halleck, who resides in the suburban area of Castle Rock, New England. He lives with his 14-year-old daughter, Linda, and his beautiful wife, Heidi. Every morning, Billy measures his weight and reports it to Heidi, who is keeping track of his weight loss and also makes diet plans for him. However, Billy hates healthy food, as he's been used to eating junk. In the next scene, Billy is inside the court, defending an underground mafia named Richie Ginelli, aka The Hammer. After a deep study about the case, Billy finds a loophole in it, and using this, he frees Ginelli. After winning the case, an elated Ginelli brings Billy to his luxurious yacht and throws a feast for him. He also tells Billy that he owes him big time. Later, when Billy returns to his office, he sees a group of gypsies trying to conduct a fair nearby. As he gets down to inspect, he meets Judge Kari and Police Chief Duncan, who are both watching the gypsies creating a mess on the street. A while later, Duncan manages to send the group away. Just then, Billy gets smitten by one of the gypsies named Gina. Later at night, Billy attends a restaurant party with Heidi. Before Billy overeats and makes himself uncomfortable, Heidi suggests they end the party, to which he reluctantly agrees. On their way back home, Heidi tries to lighten Billy's mood by pleasuring him while he's driving the car. Meanwhile, an old gypsy lady, Suzanne Lemke, walks out of a pharmacy store. When she tries to cross the road, Billy, who is completely distracted by Heidi, runs over and kills her on the spot. The scene then shifts to the court hearing, where the pharmacy owner reveals that Suzanne was actually running after stealing some items from the pharmacy. Following this, Duncan also shows his support, stating that Billy was driving within limits and had not consumed any alcohol. Having all the points in favor of Billy, Judge Kari declares the death an accident. After being declared innocent, Billy and Heidi walk out of the courtroom relieved. Surprisingly, when Billy tries to get inside his car, an elderly gypsy man, Tadzu Lemke, the father of Suzanne, walks up to him. Tadzu then runs his finger on Billy's cheeks and calls him thinner. Immediately after greeting Billy, Tadzu drives away, leaving Billy confused about what just happened. However, he doesn't think much of it and proceeds to his car. The following day, when Billy checks his weight, he's surprised to find that he lost 14 pounds. He immediately approaches Heidi and tells her about it, but the latter is confused, as Billy never followed her diet plan. Billy replies that he has his own way of losing weight, i.e. by eating more and more. Later, Billy joins Kari, Dr. Mike, and his boss Kirk on a golf course. After the golf session, Kari talks with Mike and shows him an infection on his chest. However, after taking a closer look, Mike concludes that it's just a normal infection. Later, Billy thanks Kari for assisting him with the case. At the same time, Kari reveals that he and his wife went out for dinner that day after the case, where a strange old man approached him and touched his chest. He then shows Billy his chest, which has some infection marks on it. Suddenly, Billy remembers Tadzu touching his cheeks and asks Kari if the old man said anything when he touched his chest. Kari replies that he didn't listen to the old man and simply walked away. In the next scene, Heidi is worried about Billy losing weight in an alarming manner. When she gets to know that he lost nearly 40 pounds in 2 weeks, Heidi thinks that it can be a sign of cancer and suggests they see a doctor. Hearing this, Billy gets angry at Heidi, as he believes that she's never satisfied with him, even when he's losing weight as she wanted. Moments later, Billy can be seen in Dr. Mike's clinic, where Mike takes a closer look at Billy's health report and states that he is totally fine. Happy with his physical progress, Billy visits a garment shop and buys himself a pair of nice suits. The tailor, who's also a heavy man, measures Billy's weight and gets shocked as he's losing weight drastically. The next day, while Billy is enjoying a meal at a restaurant, Mike approaches him and refers him to another clinic for further examinations. Mike also mentions that Heidi is extremely worried about him and he should do this for her. At the same time, Billy notices Kari's wife, Leda, on the other side of the restaurant having her dinner alone. On inquiring, Mike replies that Kari's gone out of town to visit his sick sister. This makes Billy suspicious, as he knows that Kari doesn't have any sisters. Hence, he decides to visit Kari's home. In the following scene, Billy arrives in front of Kari's house where he's greeted by Leda. When Billy asks about Kari, Leda tells him that he's out of town and tries to close the door. However, before she can do so, Billy asks her if Kari has lost any weight. Hearing this, Leda opens the door and inquires with Billy if he also got cursed by the gypsy. She then hands him a drink and asks him to come inside. Moments later, Leda reveals that Kari has been cursed by the old gypsy, who touched him in his chest and uttered the word lizard. She also mentions that after the touch, Kari's skin started turning into scales like a lizard, and he's transformed into a half-human, half-lizard creature. Soon, she starts blaming Billy for all the problems, as he was the one who killed the gypsy lady. Later at night, Billy visits a phone booth and calls Ginelli to ask him if his mother knows anything about the gypsy curse. Ginelli asks his mother, and she replies that she believes in them. She also states that the only way to reverse their curse is to please them. Only the one who gave the curse has the authority to reverse it. After the phone call, Heidi approaches Billy and drives him home. On their way, Billy tells her about the curse, but Heidi doesn't buy it, and instead, she suggests he visit a clinic. The next day, Billy visits the best clinic in town and tells the doctors everything about his condition. The doctors examine him but fail to find any irregularities in his body. After that, Billy visits Chief Officer Duncan at his house. When he enters, he's taken aback to find Duncan suffering from a skin problem with acne all over his face. Duncan then reveals that he too got cursed by the old guy and suggests Billy find him and kill him. Hearing this, Billy gets scared and runs out of the house. Sadly, when he reaches a bit further, he hears a gunshot from Duncan's house, indicating that he has taken his own life. Later, as a distraught Billy returns home, he notices Mike leaving his house. This makes him suspect that Heidi is having an affair with Mike. However, he decides to ignore the matter, as he's got bigger problems to handle. He tells Heidi about Duncan and the gypsy curse, but she again refuses to believe him and further suggests he seek a psychiatrist's help. Enraged, Billy berates Heidi and tells her that he will find Tadzu by himself and solve the curse. The next morning, Billy decides to call Kari to ask for his help in finding Tadzu. Sadly, he gets to know that Kari also ended his life the previous night. Hearing this, a panicked Billy leaves his house and starts searching for Tadzu around the town. He enters a bar with Tadzu's picture and asks everyone about him. Luckily, one of the customers recognizes the gypsy and provides him with his location. In the next scene, Billy finds the gypsy's location and calls out for Tadzu. When he spots Tadzu, he falls to his knees and begs him to reverse the curse. However, Tadzu refuses to help and asks him to return. Enraged, Billy raises his hand, claiming to curse Tadzu back, but Gina arrives there and accuses him of killing her mother. She then injures Billy's hand with a slingshot, causing him to run away from the place. Scared and out of options, Billy goes to a hotel and calls Ginelli for help. The gangster immediately sends a doctor for Billy's treatment and patches him up. Following this, Ginelli employs a guy to look for the gypsy on his behalf and asks him to keep an eye on them. He then poisons the gypsy's camp dogs and also leaves a message stating, "White man from town says take it off." However, the next day, the gypsies find the perpetrator, kill him, and put his corpse inside Billy's car. Enraged with the gypsies' act, Ginelli turns up the heat and stages a one-man assault against the camp. During the attack, he uses a variety of automatic weapons and kills Gina's husband. The following morning, Ginelli appears at the camp dressed as Agent Stoner from the FBI. He entices Gina away from the group to an abandoned barn where he confronts and terrorizes her in an effort to convince Tadzu to release the curse from Billy. Fortunately, when Ginelli is about to shoot Gina, Billy arrives there and stops him from doing so. However, before he leaves, he threatens Gina to send her grandfather to meet them at the lighthouse in 2 hours. In the following scene, Tadzu arrives at the lighthouse, certain that the only way to stop further attacks on his people is by breaking Billy's curse. He finds Billy sitting on a bench and informs him that he cannot break the curse, but can only help him transfer it to another person. Soon, Tadzu starts the procedure by stabbing Billy in his injured hand and mixing his blood with a strawberry pie that he had brought. He then hands Billy the pie and tells him to make someone eat it so that the curse can be transferred. After the meeting, Billy brings the pie back to his house. As he suspects his wife of cheating, he puts the pie in the kitchen, hoping that she will eat it. Lo and behold, Heidi goes to the kitchen and happily eats some of it. The following morning, Billy wakes up to discover Heidi's dried-out dead body lying next to him in bed. He is pleased to be rid of the curse and of his alleged unfaithful wife. However, as he descends, he's shocked to find that his daughter Linda had some of the pie for breakfast. At the same time, Billy learns from the news that Ginelli is found dead in New York City under suspicious circumstances. With his family members and his friends all dead, Billy's guilt forces him to die with dignity, and he ultimately tries to consume a piece of the pie. But before he can do so, Dr. Mike knocks on the door, and when Billy opens it, he appears to be disappointed. This reinforces Billy's suspicion that Mike and Heidi were having an affair. The movie ends with Billy slamming the door with a smile after inviting Mike inside for a slice of the pie. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.